Hey everybody, welcome to Gregsbeerreviews. Let's go see what's in the fridge today. Hello everybody, welcome to Gregsbeerreviews. Today, thanks a ton for stopping by. Guys, we're going to do one that I pulled out of the cellaring fridge. This is the Great Divide Brewing Company's Yeti. It's not oak aged or any kind of special. It's just their standard Yeti Imperial Stout. And this one is a 2014 edition, and I've had it for a while. This was sent to me by my brother Rico, so we're finally going to get to this. And I have done a few of those that I pulled out of the fridge here recently, and we're just winding some of those bigger beers that I've been cellaring for a while, emptying that fridge in the closet and trying to get these bigger beers reviewed here. I've been getting a lot of IPAs and double IPAs and a few stouts mixed in onto beer mail packages recently, but not enough of the stouts and darker beers, bigger beers to pair up with the other stuff that's being sent to me. So as I do the stuff that people are sending me in the pails and IPAs and double IPAs, I'm pulling stuff out of the fridge that I've had for a while for the bigger beers, for the final beer of the evening kind of deals. So with that being said, like I said, this is the 2014 edition. Usually Untapped has a different year version, but I didn't see this listed there. Maybe there, but when I typed in Yeti 2014, it didn't return anything, so I went back to the regular Yeti. So that's what this is, 9.5%er. Year-round from these guys. The only thing I could say negatively about their beers, they've been putting dates on their stuff probably longer than anybody else as far as being a craft beer brewery and dating their stuff. But their Yeti series seems to be a little on the over bitter side to me. Just my opinion. I think that they could use a little lactose to give it just a tad little bit sweeter taste to it than a big super bitter taste. But let's see what this one brings to the table. Maybe it'll be a little different. So let's jump over to Untapped to see if they have any additional information. They have it at 75 IBUs. And what they have, oh, it's a little long here. Bear with me. Traditionally, Imperial Stouts, the biggest and bolder of all stouts, were brewed with massive amounts of roasted malts and hops, resulting in a velvety, smooth, but robust beer characterized by high alcohol content and extremely high hop bitterness. And that's not only downfall to that beer. It does have a very high hop bitterness to this beer. Meeting the challenges of this aggressive, challenging beer style, Great Divide Yeti Imperial Stout at an onslaught of the senses, an almost viscous, inky black brew, Yeti opens with a massive, roasty, chocolatey coffee malt flavor that eventually gives way to rich toffee and burnt caramel notes. Packed with enormous quantity of American hops, Yeti's hop profile reveals a slightly citrusy, piney, and wonderfully dry hoppy finish. I've not noticed that in their beers. Everything else is overpowering that hop presence. But if you're brewing a 9.5%, it takes a lot of bittering hops to balance that out. I think they're a little overdone, and in my personal opinion, I think they're just a tad over bitter. Excuse me. So with that being said, let's get this 2014 opened up. And I think this is the last of the Yeti beers that I have in my closet or fridge. Into the glass we go, and I'm expecting a super dark beer to be poured And we're going to go right down the center, and as aggressively as I can pour it, poured zero, not a zilch head on this. Not even covering the top of the beer with a straight down the center pour. So it is pitch black, guys. There is absolutely no light coming through the beer at all. Very typical of an Imperial Stout usually. It's to the nose. Rich roasted malt. And I can even smell the bitterness in it. It doesn't have. Usually the beers that's brewed with lactose, you get a little sweet sensation on the back, but they are not using lactose in the brewing process, and a lot of people like that big, bold, bitter taste on their beers. Now that I've had so many lactose infused beers during the brewing process, it lends a little bit more sweetness to the back end, where these guys, this series, does not. Hints of caramel, toffee, black molasses, maybe a slight hint of some bitter, some dark fruit, but it's cold right out of the fridge, so let's dive in. Cheers everybody, cheers Rico, thank you. Very reminiscent of that style of beer. I am getting a very enjoyable beer, but it does have a strong bitterness to it. Just my opinion, like I said, I think a little bit of lactose will go a long way in making this a little bit more enjoyable in the drinking, rather than having a super strong bitterness to it. But that's just my opinion. There's a lot of people that love this beer and buy it regularly. Still a very tasty beer, a very well made beer. The alcohol seems to be very well hidden for a 9.5%. I understand why a lot of people absolutely love this beer. It is, to my recollection, I didn't buy this one, but I don't think they're a super pricey beer to buy, especially when you're getting to a 9.5, almost 10% beer. I think they're still producing these in 6-packs instead of 4-packs, like a lot of other people, the breweries have gone to. So, still, I think it's a very enjoyable beer. It's just a little heavy-footed on the bitterness side. So, it's right out of the fridge. Let's let it warm up, and let me sip on it for a little bit, and we'll come back and see where it ends up. Alright guys, I'm back. I've been sipping on it for a while now. Pretty typical from these people in this style. Very nice, very enjoyable. No lacing left on the glass. Very surprised that usually some of these better made stouts do leave some lacing on the glass. It poured absolutely no head. Decent beer, but nothing outstanding or world class, anything like that to me. I do think, like I said, it's a well-made beer, but the bitterness is just a little overpowering to me on this style of beer, and I've had quite a few different kinds of Yetis, and it's pretty typical of the style. A little overpowering, overbearing in the bitterness, but still, a lot of people like that in their stouts. I would prefer them to use a little lactose in it to give it just a little bit sweeter taste and mouthfeel. But still, a well-made beer, and these guys, like I said earlier, have been dating their stuff for a long time. Probably one of the original people or breweries that dated their stuff way back when. Do appreciate them doing that. My opinion is not going to mean anything to them as far as how they brew this beer or anything like that, but it's not something that I would probably purchase. There are a lot of tastier Imperial Stouts that have a little nicer mouthfeel and not quite so much bitterness to the beer as this one has, but still well done. Alcohol is fairly well hidden for a 9.5%. It's still a very enjoyable beer. And if it's available in the 6-packs and not 4-packs, because they've done several different variations in the bombers and in the 12-ounce bottles and stuff now, so I don't know what this beer costs. I didn't try to pull out any paperwork that Rico sent me way back when, so I'm basically judging this on never had it before, and I've had a lot of Imperial Stouts that a little better than this. So, but still, very tasty beer. Definitely worth trying if you like this style of beer. Final chug. Like I said, still a very tasty beer. I do think it's an A beer, but it's an A- for me. 93 for me on this one. I do enjoy it. And way back when, I probably would have thought it was a better beer than what it is now with the amount of Imperial Stouts that I've had. Still tasty. So that's where we're going to leave it. 93 for me in the A- scale. Over to Beer Advocate, they have it at 4.21 in their exceptional scale. Yeah, I wouldn't call it exceptional, but it is pretty tasty. Over to Untapped, they have it at 3.92, which is in their B+ range. So I'm giving it a better grade than those guys are. But there are a lot of those guys that are posting comments and reviews and ratings on that site. Unless it's really blowing their hair back or their socks off, they're going to judge it accordingly, like I do, and give you an honest opinion. And I do think it's an A beer, but not to the solid A. It's an A- beer to me. But I do appreciate them putting a date on the label, and they have been for many, many, many years. And just a little overbid to me. That's just my opinion, though, guys. So if you've had the 2014 edition of this recently, let me know what you think. And until we meet again, let's go see what's in the fridge.